From KOLN Lincoln and KGIN Grand Island, this is 1011 Today at 5.
The vehicle became engulfed in fire, as did the dump truck.
A fiery crash puts one man in the hospital. Lincoln police say the driver of a car that crashed at the intersection of 70th and McCormick was trying to see how fast his girlfriend's new car would go. Good evening, I'm Cerise Cole.
I'm John Fortney. Police Chief Tom Cassidy says 19-year-old Jacob Buchanan was cited for willful, reckless driving after that fiery crash. Buchanan's buddy, a 29-year-old passenger, was not wearing a seat belt and was taken to the hospital with multiple broken bones. The chief says it all happened at about 10:45 Monday night, and police say Buchanan was driving his girlfriend's 2004 Dodge Intrepid at speeds of up to 95 miles an hour when he lost control, crashing into the property owned by Constructors, Inc. The car caught fire. The crash caused major damage to a dump truck and two other vehicles. Police say onlookers pulled the passenger and driver out of the car before it was completely engulfed in flame. The chief says there have been problems right there before. Now back out to the scene of the crash tonight, where Lincoln Police Chief Tom Cassidy does join us now live. And Chief, I guess, first of all, is this stretch of street really doubling up as a drag strip out there?
Yes, it is. We've had repeated problems here since about 2004. As you can see, the stretch of McCormick Avenue here is flat and long, and there's not much along it, so it's a temptation. It's also remote from any adjacent homes, so there really isn't anyone out here that would hear and report the sound of a drag race going on.
Chief, is this more of an after dark or daytime problem?
Cerise, it's primarily a problem late at night, usually after 10 o'clock p.m. It's one of several locations around Lincoln where street racers will gather, sometimes for short periods of time, to avoid detection. This is just a particularly troublesome spot for us, and we've been out here on a number of occasions with enforcement. We've got some help from the State Patrol before to use their helicopter. We had a fatal accident here in 2008, so this is the second really serious accident we've had out here. We're lucky this one wasn't a fatality.
You know, Chief, you were talking about having officers out there patrolling. Is probably pretty hard to do that 24/7, I would think. Is there any possibility of maybe changing the pavement out there? In other words, maybe putting a speed bump in, say, every 100 feet or so?
Well, unfortunately, I think anything you would do to modify the roadway in that fashion would also create an even greater risk. You don't want to put up some kind of a barrier like a bump or a dip or anything like that that might cause someone that's not familiar with that roadway change to lose control. It's just a bad situation. What we really need is we really need these street racers to obey the law. And this young man that was out here last night trying out his girlfriend's car, he had a crowd of onlookers. Fortunately, they probably helped save the passenger's life, but this gathering out here really needs to end.
You say this needs to end, but how do you enforce something like this when drivers are out on the street all the time?
Well, it's pretty tough. The young man that was driving the car last night had just received a citation on November 5th for drag racing at 29th and O Street. So he's got a couple of scheduled court appearances for awfully serious reckless driving charges that are pending now.
All right. Police Chief Tom Cassidy, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it.